Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 5th of May. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have ANSEL, Origin Energy, Ventia Services, Polynovo and ASX Limited. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. But ultimately, our better ideas come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report. So you need to make sure you're getting that report every Tuesday. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our main business is in portfolio management. So if you'd like to have a broking account with us, set up a trading account, have me alert you to when I feel you need to be buying or selling something, then please let me know and I'll explain how that works. And the advice here is general only. So daily chart here of ANSEL. Obviously the gap down here in January on big volume was a negative, but on the positives, on a positive note, it didn't actually get any worse, so it didn't follow through. It's just gone sideways, so that implies that we've potentially got a base build happening here, which could break in either direction. I mean, in terms of the last sort of several days, it's been a nice move up despite the broader market looking weak. So that is a positive, but clearly it's butting up against some resistance here. So, we really do need to see a clear break first. Obviously, if we can get out of this range, that would be a positive. Downside break would be a negative. All right, Origin Energy. So if we just sort of zoom out a bit, we could see we had this sort of downtrend here after the initial COVID bounce, sort of break off that several months ago, and then it's been trending higher ever since. There have been a few occasions where we've seen a bit of sort of price rejection from those higher levels, sort of weakness here. But generally, it's just been trending higher. It's still getting on with it. So for me, it's still a hold. In terms of a sell, I'd be looking at the prior low. So we've got these nice sort of higher lows. This is the prior low. So that's near 650. So a break under that, to me, would be a sell signal. Otherwise, I'd be happy to stick with the trend. Okay, VNT. So new listing. Been trending the whole time, so doing all the right things. Nice little consolidations and breaks along the way. So here we had this sort of move in January, sort of fairly flat consolidation, then it sort of broke out of that here, buy signal, only went up for a few days, but then another flat consolidation, break higher, another buy signal, off it goes. Most recently, looking a little bit sort of concerning. So we had this sort of big reversal here, this bearish engulfing pattern. It's tried to rally and has sort of struggled to make much headway. So I think at best we see a sideways consolidation or even a pullback. But either way, I'd say another consolidation at the very least is underway at the moment. Polynovo. So zoom out, as we could see, just sort of one big downtrend. That's very clear. It's still underway. Look, in the last sort of few months, there's been a couple of potential reversals. I mean, here you could see this sort of flattening out here, popped up, but then as we could see, it failed to follow through. So that should have been your sell signal to get out, because clearly it wasn't kicking on. And even here, we've got this sort of, hammer down here in March, reversal, but again, just not going anywhere, and then basically back to breach that. So look, none of the reversals are sticking at the moment, still in a downtrend, and basically a good example of why you need to run stops. So even if you tried to buy any sort of breaks along the way, it potentially looked cheap, $2, $3, even $1.50, and now it's trading in the 80-something cent region. So I guess a good example of why it's important to have stocks on stocks like this. Okay, and finally ASX. So we could see the pullback here from November sort of started to level out here over the last few months, and sort of just bunching up here under resistance before breaking higher in late April. So that would have been the first sort of buy signal. It's held up pretty well considering the broader market, but obviously it's now at an obvious resistance level here. We could see the turning points and struggling to go through that. So if it can just basically go sideways here for a bit and then push through $88, that would be very bullish. But we just need to see what happens. It may well want to come all the way back here into the range, but so far it's looking fine. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through. We'll try to look at it next week.